Hello, listeners. This is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfics. This will be the reading of the one-shot entitled No Quirk Needed. Here's the summary. Monoma flicks Midoriya's nose. I'm an analyst. I don't just glare at Class A all day for fun. Could have fooled me. Midoriya smiles, and Monoma swears his chest feels tight. Class A and Class B play Spin the Bottle. Whoever thought spin the bottle with Class A was a good idea should be smited. Not only is there going to be kissing involved, but to make matters worse, the two chosen saps have to go into the closet for a few minutes and get comfortable with each other. The Pikachu reject, Kaminari, is having a field day with the amount of times the bottle is landing on him. He goes in with Jiro, then Tetsu. Monoma has to hold his laughter for that one. Then Sero. Bakugo gets chosen to kiss Kirishima, and the closet they're in ends up being abandoned. Monoma doesn't ask why. He does notice they don't return to continue playing, though. Monoma sighs in relief at that. He and Bakugo would murder each other if they were both chosen, plus he's by far the most embarrassing threat to Monoma's pride. After an hour passes by, Monoma wonders if he's going to get away without having to confront anyone tonight. He's had a few close calls, but the bottle has yet to land on him. For a brief moment, he wonders if the chosen bottle spinner, Reen, has been purposefully merciful towards him. That train of thought dies as soon as the bottle stops on him a few minutes later. He barely notices the bottle directed right at him. He's in the middle of spacing out when his name and someone else's is said. "What?" he says. "You know the rules, dude. Don't play dumb." Tetsu smirks by his side, nudging him with his elbow. Monoma stands up from his spot and looks around the circle, still unsure who he's supposed to be going in the closet with. When he sees a head of dark green hair rising up, his stomach plummets to his feet. Of course it's Midoriya from Class A. It doesn't help the boy looks like he's 2 seconds away from running in the other direction. How someone with such an amazing quirk and immense strength can look so scared when next to someone who can't even copy his quirk is beyond Monoma. Midoriya is a weird one. As far as choices from Class A went, though, Monoma supposes he could have gotten a worse option. At least with Midoriya, he knows the boy is quite humble, unlike another explosive member of Class A. This is fine. He can handle Midoriya. He walks into the closet and waits as Midoriya drags his feet through the crowd of students hollering and laughing at them. Everyone knows how Monoma feels about Class A, so this is the best kind of result for them. Bastards. When the closet door closes with both of them inside, Monoma realizes just how dark it is. The only light coming in is from underneath the door. He takes a deep breath and tries to think about what they can do for the next few minutes since he highly doubts they're going to be kissing. Midoriya's breathing is erratic, and he sounds like he's going to have an asthma attack. "Hey," Monoma whispers harshly. "Get a hold of yourself. At least try to represent Class A better than that." "Sorry," Midoriya squawks. Monoma's jaw clenches as he tries to glare at Midoriya despite the pitch-black vision. "Do I scare you?" A moment of silence passes, and Monoma guesses Midoriya made a physical gesture. Clearing his throat, Midoriya speaks a little calmer. "Not exactly." "Then what is it?" "I've never kissed anyone before." "Oh." Monoma's mind blanks, and he lets his head fall back onto the wall behind him. That makes sense. Midoriya's never kissed anyone, and everyone was expecting him to kiss Monoma, the guy known for insulting the hell out of Class A. Running his fingers through his hair, Monoma reaches out with his other hand and intends to place it on Midoriya's shoulder. He misses and instead places it on Midoriya's neck. And if the sudden heat beneath his fingertips is any hint, they both become incredibly flushed. He takes his hands back and coughs awkwardly. "Listen," he says. "You don't have to kiss me. This is just a dumb game anyway. I bet the others cheated too. They're not saints. Plus, I bet kissing a guy isn't exactly who you want your first kiss to be with. Midoriya cuts him off. I'm bi. Ah. Monoma blinks ahead, vaguely seeing an outline of Midoriya, but still not able to spot the expression on his face. I'm gay, Monoma says, and the words tumble out of his throat like acid. He grabs his chest like he's seconds away from falling over and tells himself to breathe. It's okay. This is okay. He's not used to saying it out loud after years of being ostracized in middle school, but things are different. The people around him are different. Midoriya is different. A beat passes, and there's shuffling on the other side of the closet. Monoma shifts to lean on his other leg, and then a cold hand is touching his cheek and making him flinch. Midoriya makes a sound. Sorry, It's fine. You can continue. Monoma swallows thickly. Another pause, and then a gentle hand is caressing his cheek, and a thumb is tracing his eyes and nose, down to his lips. If this is weird, Midoriya hesitates. It's not. Okay. Midoriya exhales, and Monoma can feel the cool air on his face. A few seconds later, and suddenly the air is closer. It's so close that Monoma can feel every breath Midoriya lets out. Midoriya whispers, Hey. Yeah. Monoma feels like he's going to faint any second. Can I? Please. Please do. Their lips meet, and it's a mess. It's sloppy and inexperienced, but it's the best thing Monoma has ever felt. His body feels like it's heating up to the point he might suffocate under Midoriya's touch. Fingers that aren't his are tangled in his hair, and there's a knee pressing between his thighs. Midoriya probably doesn't mean to be so lewd, but like Monoma, he's losing himself in the kiss. Monoma slips his arms around a slim waist and tugs Midoriya closer, thoughts racing a mile per minute. This is supposed to be Class A's prized guinea pig, the person they show off in terms of strength next to Bakugo and the #1 hero's son, Todoroki. Midoriya is the pinnacle of power stored in a tiny boy, and yet here he is in Monoma's arms, softly moaning his name. Monoma seriously might faint. Midoriya's lips taste like candy and the sweetest Belgian chocolate. Monoma watches as bursts of his childhood spill from the kiss. He sees himself outside on the school swings alone. No one dares interact with the class copycat. He'll steal your quirk. I heard he once copied a quirk and set his own pants on fire. He's nothing but a copycat. Monoma tries to ignore the voices, but they're loud. They follow him for years to come. Amongst the haze of chatter, a figure steps forward and bends down. Something is placed in his tiny hand, and when he looks up, he sees his teacher smiling down at him. He gazes back at his hands and sees a small chocolate square. He slowly brings it up to his mouth and... Midoriya. Beautiful, blooming Midoriya. The boy of his obsessions. Negative obsessions he tried so desperately to drown, but he can't anymore. Midoriya is here kissing him, and he's melting. He's turning to goop, and Midoriya is going to devour him whole. Why did he hate Class A again? Hey, guys, you can leave your cell now, a voice says, but it feels so far away. Monoma opens his eyes to an onslaught of light. Midoriya has his arms around him, and he's practically on top of him. Holy shit! Monoma blinks a few times to see who it is. Kaminari is staring at them with wide eyes. The door open. Midoriya shifts in his arms and pulls away from the kiss, but leaves a trail of saliva connecting them. Monoma's stomach rolls at the sight. Sorry, continue. I guess. Holy crap. Guys! Kaminari shuts the door, and Monoma can hear his footsteps running away. He brings a fist up and coughs into it, trying to clear his throat. he says intelligently. Wow, Midoriya says, a hand on Monoma's chest. He starts laughing, and soon there's a weight on Monoma's shoulder. I can't believe we just did that. Me neither. I'm going to be so embarrassed in the morning, but I feel so good right now. Monoma desperately tries to swallow the lump in his throat. There's a heat burning in his gut, and he's just now realizing how dangerous this boy is. He wants to lock the door and pull Midoriya in for another kiss, another touch. Midoriya is a drug. An addicting, adorable drug. Outside the closet, Monoma can hear Kaminari spewing a bunch of nonsense about the two. Perhaps we can try this again another day, in a more private setting. Monoma reaches out and grasps Midoriya's arm, letting his hand trail down until he's grabbing his wrist. Midoriya hums. That sounds nice. On the count of 3, I'm going to run out and grab the first quirk of whoever is nearby, and we're going to make a run for it. All right? Wait, really? 1. Wait, Monoma. 2. This sounds kind of dangerous. Maybe we should... 3. Monoma grabs Midoriya's hand and throws the door open. Unfortunately, the first person nearby is Mineta, and Monoma doesn't want to dirty his hands. Instead, he reaches over him and taps on Uraraka's shoulder. Before he knows it, he's floating in the air and dragging Midoriya along with him. He tags a few people along the way, so there's just a room of floating, screaming students. It would be pretty funny if Monoma wasn't on the verge of barfing. Before they're out of the common room, Monoma can hear Tetsu shouting, "The Great Escape!" The two of them run up the stairs to the second floor of Class A's building, giggling and laughing. Monoma feels like he's 2 seconds away from falling and not getting back up, but a spike of adrenaline is keeping him on his feet. This is insane, Midoriya says between a fit of giggles. You really are extra. And proud of it, Monoma replies, hair over his eyes as he tries to catch his breath. He glances up and sees Midoriya watching him. Eyes no longer covered in a fog of inappropriate thoughts, but rather something far softer. Monoma suddenly wants to punch himself in the face. See you around? Are you sure? Aren't you supposed to hate me? I don't hate you, Monoma murmurs. I just hate Class A. Isn't that the same thing? No. I hate the concept of Class A being better than Class B. I don't hate you. You don't think you're better than anyone. You're just trying to be the best that you can be. Midoriya furrows his brows together. You got all that from us kissing? Monoma flicks Midoriya's nose. I'm an analyst. I don't just glare at Class A all day for fun. Could have fooled me. Midoriya smiles, and Monoma swears his chest feels tight. I think we can learn a lot from each other. Monoma stands up straight, feigning confidence. You're different from everyone else. There's something about you. Something I noticed ever since I tried to help Eri with her quirk. Midoriya wrinkles his nose. Something good? Something good. They share a smile. A moment that passes for a beat too long. See you around, Monoma-kun. Midoriya turns around and starts walking away. See you. Monoma watches him until he's up the stairs and out of sight. Maybe Class A isn't so bad if there's more people like him in it. With a heavy sigh, Monoma faces the stairs below. He knew it was coming, but he hadn't come up with a plan to avoid it yet. When he spots the faces of Tetsu, Awase, and Kaminari opening the door, he groans. He's going to get interrogated. Now to pretend he isn't thinking of Midoriya's lips on his. All right, listeners, this concludes the one-shot entitled No Quirk Needed. I really like this one. It was a short and sweet little one-shot, showing more of one of my favorite little rare pairs of Monodeku. I think that Monoma getting a glimpse into Midoriya and forced circumstances where the two of them are put together and they have to see each other from a different perspective is nice. And, who doesn't like, a 7 minutes in heaven sort of spin the bottle type of fic? I think that the author did a really nice job with this one, painting both of their characterizations, but still it works, right, for the two of them, as well as a little bit of backstory on Monoma, right, how he's carrying some of his past experiences with him, and that makes him a bit jaded, right, towards classes like Class A. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and reactions. Of course, the fic is located over on AO3 and has not gotten nearly enough support on it yet. So if you have an opportunity, you can always slide over leaving comments, kudos, and support to the original author. I'm sure it's much appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for listening.